Hello everyone, welcome to the very first episode of PMCC's podcast series, The Future of Project Management, where a new episode comes out each month and we will be joined by experts from the project management and construction industries. My name is Carmen and today we will be interviewing our group CEO, Peter Wyss. Besides running PMCC, Peter is also a consultant for large-scale projects, typically for the industrial and construction industries for the past 20 years. In today's episode, we will be discussing about project management simulation, for which Peter is also a certified trainer for. So let's learn about what it is and what you can do for your projects. So Peter, thank you for being here today. To start this off, can you tell us what is project management simulation?
Yeah, project management simulation is quite an interesting topic, not used so widely, maybe yet, because it's maybe coming more in the future. The reason being, when you need people for a project in your industry, typically you are looking for someone who got experience already in a project, but that means someone had to go through a project already in order to collect that experience, and that's quite an important factor. And especially if it's a mega project which can take 3, 4, maybe 5 years, there are not too many people who went through for such a project already. Hence, what is actually interesting that you can do a project management simulation with this participant or actually a team of people to conduct a project simulation. And yeah, it is not exactly like a mega project, that's for sure. You cannot replace 5 years into one day, that's impossible. But if you give somebody a simulation, they need to start with the planning on paper, then they need to key in all these parameters into the software, and then the software will run with my own parameter set as the trainer on the difficulty, the speed of simulation and all these kind of settings that I can challenge the participants. And typically they work in a team of 4 on the same computer, that they can go through a real project, and the computer will call them, make a phone call and say, hey, one guy is on leave, or there is an emergency, or take care for the client, or we got quality issues and you have to do rework. So all this happens within that very same simulation. So the aha moments you gain are quite critical, because these are those moments you have as well in a big project, but you maybe wait for a month until you have it. In this simulation, you can just do it within minutes and hours. And I also can observe, of course, how these people perform and behave.
Those are great advantages. Besides them, what are the other outcomes that we can achieve through the simulation?
Interesting question as well. Yeah, of course. If somebody wants to have his team going to a simulation, you want the maximum out of it, for sure. What, from a psychological point of view, what we typically say, what you can't handle in a small scale, you will not be able to handle in a big scale either. So all the errors you do during that simulation, probably you would do as well in a bigger real project. That's one. But if you can actually learn from these small mistakes during the simulation, probably you will not do it in the real project. So you actually can save the big money while the errors just happen on the software. One big advantage, since they are working in a team of 4, there is always somebody who is more the shadow worker, and there is always somebody who somehow takes the lead. So you can actually see the team dynamic, who is more the leader or who is more the worker. So you can actually see the team dynamic and personality coming to the table, even during this short, but we call it a serious game, because it is literally going through a project with all the phases you have and see how it works when the computer gives you feedback. There is one more aspect. Usually we break it into 2 sessions. We can break it as well into 3 sessions. However, the first simulation session is typically very stressful for the team because it is new. They need to understand how the parameters actually work, how the metrics return the figures, and what they need to do. We have a presentation after the first session, so they also need to create a report. And usually I tell them, use the reality tools like either a Word file, a PowerPoint presentation or whatever to present in front of everybody else how did you perform for your first session. And that means we also can see how quick they can prepare a report, how good they can present. And in many ways, project people typically tend to, oh, I did well, or my job actually is finished, but it is not. Usually they tend to be optimistic. So you can see how they can actually camouflage problems and how they finger point maybe their own people in the team saying, oh, this because of this guy or this person, this happened. So you can see so much more during that session. And of course, then there is the final report as well. So it's really a complete project execution, and they need to present their own errors, problems, or successes in many cases, of course.
Can you perhaps also give us some examples of what happens during the simulation?
For me, one of the best examples is when during the planning, typically the resources available are not properly factored in or not really checked. Who is permanently on the project or who is only temporary on the project, and then when these people are not there anymore, it's like, who is doing my job? My project is getting delayed, but it means you didn't really plan the resources properly. And that's where is one big aspect to me. It's always quite an amusement for me to see. But another point is when works are going south and rework has to be done. In other words, the additional costs shoot through the roof, which has never been planned for. You need to do quality checks. And actually there is, again, quality check after quality check which you could plan. But if you don't, that's when rework happens, or even people get frustrated and walk away. And this whole combination is really amusing to see, because what happens in real projects happen in this simulation as well. And actually it is as real as it can be to give you an aha moment for the person running the show on the computer and hopefully the entire team. So it gives really a clue what should be done, but we in most cases and many cases conveniently don't do.
Thank you for sharing, Peter. It gave me really good clarification on what project management simulation is, and it definitely proves to be very beneficial for individuals as well as teams. And that concludes our episode for today. Please subscribe and follow us on our social media channels for future episodes where we will be sharing more expert knowledge in project management. See you in our next episode.